I still feel like shit. My eyes are burning. All right. So futures. Everybody can see my screen. Okay, cool. Morning demo. Yeah, BTC taking a puke, and we're gonna talk all that. And here's where the drama started. 8:30, and even before that, it was happening and it was coming down. They were just looking for a reason to sell this thing off, and exactly where they sold it off, 39.47, somewhere around here. Now, why is it stopping? Do we have anything there to stop it? Let's see. There's a Bollinger Band, fair enough. And on the higher time frame, there's nothing there. But you're still flirting with this line. This is the line that is, still anchoring. Everything is still anchored to this line. Unless you're detached from this line and start to push down or go up, this thing will keep happening. And here's the monthly, and here's the number. This is what we're looking for, right?
What number
So
is
at
that,
some
Tor?
point, sorry.
What number is that? I can't see it on your super trend.
Yeah, this is 3900. So this is the
3900.
number that we are looking for. And until we hit that number, I think this push and pull will keep happening. And I think after this number, we should get a bounce. And right now, if futures turn back because Pi is hitting that 390 something, I think that means that it will have to come back. If it bounces, it simply means it's an ephemeral bounce. It will have to come back at some point during the day and test this number right about here, the futures. Now, if we move on to SPX, so this is what I'm looking for. A push there. Right now, this is where we are sitting, about 39. So that's the reason, 39.60. This is where SPY is stopping right now. And I'm expecting it to kind of bounce from here and then come back in this number. And if that happens, if it comes back in, it will break this number. I don't doubt that at all. It will break this number and perhaps push somewhere around here. And I think that's where the number I just put in, 375 or something. This is where the number is coming from, right? So 370 or whatnot. So this is where that number is coming from. If it breaks here, then we are about to push into this territory, and everything is still intact to the downside on the monthly side of things. And we are still, this is the prime kind of if this were a daily setup or hourly setup, it would easily, we all know this setup, right? Goes, gets overbought, comes into five, comes into eight, then breaks the inner Bollinger Band, hits the mean, breaks the mean. Now there's a very good chance it's going to go hit this number. And for this to happen, this guy needs to break. And this guy is sitting somewhere around right here. This is the line in the sand. I think this will get tested again. Most likely, this will bounce from this super trend here on the daily regular candles. But then, if Apple breaks below this super trend, then we got some room to the downside. First up, 147.50. A break below that, we're looking for 143.90 or something like that. That would, 10 points push down on Apple. Yeah, we will get some severe selling going on in the tech then. Severe selling that would put SPX probably around 375 or something like that. So this is what is the game plan. Perhaps today, or I don't know if it's gonna happen today itself, but today this is what we're looking for. 3950, and below that 3900, somewhere around, what is that number? On ES, this is the number we are tracking right now, 3900. So if it breaks below there, yeah, we will reassess the situation there and plan accordingly after that. SPX, and let's see SPX on the regular SPX. But whatever the higher time frames are saying, fair enough, they do what they do, but this is where I will be trading. This is where I'll be trading. If the markets were to open, I think it's trading somewhere right about here, right? So 39, some right about here. 39.50 to 39.60. This is the range it is trading in right now if the markets were to open. And let's, where's the SPY number? There's a SPY number 395. Yep, right around here. This is where it is trading right now. So let's let you know. So this would have been my base case, but right now we broke through that. So the base case would come down to 39.32. If a break of that, we are looking for 3900, and a break below that 3870 something. But 3770 is still the number on the horizon that will get tested. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but that number will get tested. And a lot rides on Apple, of course. Apple pushed to the downside, 10 points pushed down. Yeah, that means a lot of pain would come in tech sector. And tech sector, just because it's the biggest sector, that will drag down every single thing. And we know that the Dow theory suggests that indices needs to follow each other. Now it's not even a theory, just because that the components are shared between all the indices. Just like Apple, if Apple pushes down, S&P would push down, Dow would push down, Nasdaq would push down, and based on that, everything else will push down. So watch out for Apple. This is the line in the sand. If we break this line and start to push down, then this is the next one, 147.30, then a push below here. So SPX, this is the range that we're watching for SPX. Below 395, we have where's that? 300. Right here. No, here. So if it breaks, right now it's trading here. My base case to the downside is 39.32. If we break below there, 3900, and I'm not charting anything below 3900 as of now. We got to see how the reaction would be around that number, and if that breaks there, then we'll see for further downside. And for the upside, the base case is right here, 4,000, and if you push above that, then most likely we'll try to pierce this mean on the hourly 40.41. Right now, I'm not plotting anything above 40.41. If that pierces through there, then we look for 40.64, then perhaps a test of 41.13. I don't know why would anybody buy the markets, but if a gamma squeeze comes into play, or rather short squeeze comes into play, then we'll look for this number. I don't know, from the 3900 to 4100, 200 points move on SPX. Given the conditions, will it happen? I doubt that. I sincerely doubt that premise itself, but it's a possibility, so we'll leave it open. Bitcoin, this thing is taking a huge hit, and it will continue to take hit, and this is where we are headed, right? Or but not in a straight line, of course. It will hit this number 2570, then that will pierce through that. Most likely 28, whatever this is, 23.7 or whatnot, will test this number. I don't believe it's gonna last, and I think it will come back into 21, and I believe that it will break that one as well. And most likely we will be starting to push into that number we talked about a month back, 10,000 or below. Cool. And this will be chaotic. And again, Apple 10 points down. This will crush everything else. I don't know why the Bitcoin is, coordinating with the markets. Well, I understand that it's also a risky asset, but it is a total different asset class. I have no idea why it is kind of in lockstep with the markets, but it is what it is. And it carries, at least it used to carry a huge market cap. Now it's been cut in more than half, but still it is a there is still monetary value in there, a huge monetary value tied up to Bitcoin. And as the markets unravel, and I think Bitcoin will continue to take that hit, and that will affect the other crypto as well. And then you have several stocks all the way ranging from Coin to Master. What is that? MSTR, MicroStrategy. Then you got some micro cap like HUT or some other ones. Beehive or something like that. So you could look to short that thing merrily on their way down. Uh, Perhaps go kill that Mera or Riot, or go short on Coin, or perhaps go short on MSTR. They will all work out. Now here's the thing: because BTC is coming in, this guy has to come in, right? Because they hold BTC, and that effect is still not there. I am sitting at here. The first hit should be here, but after that, actually, I am sitting here for Tesla. 401 is where I'm sitting for Tesla. Am I looking to buy those puts right away? No, I'm not. I want to see how today plays out. There will be plenty of time to for us to get engaged into this 600 puts and then 400 puts. Not really doing that right now, but I will get engaged in that. Clearly, it broke the mean to the downside, and this was a critical number. So next, we are looking for a hit of 760, and probably 760 below that. So I'd be, if I go by this candles, yeah, 750 to 760 is the range. My base case to the downside. Should we break below that, we are looking for 700. And 700, it has bounced several times previously, and we've seen that chart so many times now. Where is that? It's not here. This is the chart. We have seen this chart so many times, right? And we have, at least I have PTSD from this chart. Fucking, I couldn't catch it here, but I caught it here somewhere later. But this was a monster move, right? So, in fact, I caught it here and fucking gave it here around 9:30. But yeah, so it is what it is, and I still think this is very much plausible. This is very plausible and very much possible. And Apple, 10 points to the downside. Apple hitting 143, 142. Everything will come crashing down. And if Tesla breaks below there and probably, test this number, 703, we could look for a bounce for Tesla, but I don't think this time it's going to stop there. I strongly believe Tesla will continue to the downside. Two reasons for that: Apple coming down as is. Reason one, Tesla's valuation. In fact, more than two reasons: Tesla's valuation, second thing, and then Bitcoin. This is the other thing. Tesla holds a lot of Bitcoin that should affect their balance sheet, and based on that alone, it has to come back in. It has to come back in. I don't see any other reason, any other go. It has to come back in. So 600, and we're looking for 400. This is how it's going to proceed. But till then, you can play, short-term basis, 759, then probably 700. And now let's look at Tesla to the upside. What do we have for the upside? And if it gets oversold here or whatnot, starts to bounce, we're looking for a push into 793. That clears, the mean is sitting at 796. That clears, most likely will hit 803. And if the rally catches on, we're looking for 827. Not plotting anything beyond this. In fact, it is ludicrous at this point to even plot Tesla above 800, simply because the sentiment is so sour that they need to push it down. But just in case, if short squeeze happens, and in fact I'm looking for that short squeeze to happen, then if that sparks the rally and Tesla clears the 800 mark, and then we're looking for a push into 827. And right now, not plotting anything beyond that, but if it does clear 827, then we have quite a bit to the upside. Here 840, it will hit 840 in a flash. If it clears here 827, Tesla will hit 840 in a flash. Shorts will get murdered here. And if it clears this 840, whatever number, 5 on the daily, then we're looking for a clear hit of 858 or something like that. So watch out for that rally. I don't know why people would want to buy this market, but just in case, if the short squeeze comes in, oh look, right now we are bouncing. See that from 394. Yeah, fuck. Should have gone more for the downside. But anyways, the lower time frames are suggesting that SPY is oversold, and that's reacting to that. Right now, it's running into its five. I know, running into its eight on the five. That's what is happening right now for SPY. So there's enough ammo, I think, for it to clear that thing. So this is a chart I'm looking at right now. The side, this is what I'm looking at. Right, got oversold, and there was that super trend there waiting for it to bounce, and it bounced. And now, if you look at the next chart, then you'll see whether the bounce is going to last or not. Uh, so this is the chart that I was looking at. This is where I was looking for that bounce here, right here, 393. So I was looking for the range of 395 to 392, I guess. So this is where I was looking for that bounce, and it did not come into that number yet. 393. I don't know if it actually did 393, 394. So this is bouncing off of no good levels here. Maybe on a short term or on a short lower time frame, there must be something it is bouncing off of. But I don't believe that, I at least I would have been more happier that SPY hit this number, 393.50 or something like that, and then a bounce. This would have been a nice bounce. This would have been a formidable bounce. But everything is still pointing to the downside. And if it breaks here, then we're looking for a push into 370. Right. So yeah, let's keep a watch on all of that stuff. Uh, weekly goes here. Right. So Tesla, that's the Tesla. The downside, that's the Tesla to the upside. And let's look at Apple. And Apple 15 minutes. Obviously, this thing is pushing up. And here is where it is stopping right now. If you extend this super trend, here is where it is stopping. I think it should break this and test this number here. And if there is enough ammo, then I think it should test this. I don't know who is this, who's the net buyer here. I don't really know, just because of technicals there, the the bots are buying or something like that. But still, if it starts to go in here and 154 would be the line in the sand. If it starts to push down from there, that would be nice. Then we could look for a further push down and test off this line again, 152. Cool thing. All right, so then Microsoft, we have Microsoft. Always look at Microsoft for various reasons, and on any given push down, and I'm pretty sure majority of the market participants are looking at this number, 261 to 258. That's the number we are looking for. If it comes down there, we'll look for a bounce. But even if it pierces through that and probably push into this 257, whatever it is, and on any reversal, I'll be looking to buy Microsoft, because Microsoft will come back into this number. It will come back and test this number. Now, here's the thing with Microsoft. It has left its five. This candle is right now it is orphan. Either it needs to go down and test this number, or it needs to go up and test this number. Now it's debatable which will come first. I would want to see this happen first, 261. But as is, people, I don't know why people behave very impatient or whatnot. They see a dip, they start to buy it. This is not a dip. This is definitely not a dip. If you go back in time, see that this is where it belongs actually. So, or rather here, this is where it belongs, 186 or something. But yeah, so it's a matter of time, I guess. It will bounce from here, then probably, it should come into this number actually. This is where it makes more sense to me as a net buyer. But we will play along, whatever it is. We played along all of this thing. Even if it did not make sense, the valuations did not make sense or whatnot. We played this thing along to the upside, and if it bounces from here, we will be net buyers again. But I don't want to be buying and holding anything into this market, given what I know about Fed, given what I know about interest rate, given what I know about housing market and whatnot. So I would be waiting. Do you think money will flow from Bitcoin to stocks? I don't think so at the moment, but yeah, I believe that stocks are cheaper right now. When I say cheaper, I mean on the PE basis. Certain stocks, not the whole market. The growth is still overvalued, but something like a Facebook, it is attractively valued here. Something like a Netflix, it is attractively valued, and Amazon and Google. Apple, I'm not sure yet. I think I still want to see Apple down a little bit. But then, yeah, you have certain pockets of the assets which are attractively valued. So I believe that institutional investors, they are looking at the same data that I'm looking at, but they just want to see this thing play out, and they will jump on this thing. This will be a long, buy and hold sort of a situation with some of these big names. I will be a buyer of Amazon if it comes in further. I'll be a buyer of Google if it comes in further down. And Tesla, I will not be a buy and hold kind of a guy with Tesla. I will trade Tesla 400, 500, whatever the number it is. Tesla is a tradable instrument to me. And I will keep trading Tesla. And this is the guy that, I'll be watching today. This guy, right? And it is still pointing to the downside on the weekly side of things. And US 10-year is still, okay. Last night we were looking for this number to get hit, right? So the theory still holds. If it comes into this inner Bollinger Band, there's a good chance of it getting hit. Right here, it got hit and it's bouncing off of that number. So will the bounce last? I don't know. I don't know. I would ideally want this to last. I would ideally want 10-year to continue to the push upside. I would ideally want 10-year to be anywhere close to 3.2 to 3.5. Most likely we'll get that number maybe next time when the Fed raises the rates, another 25 bips to 50 bips. And here's the thing: if Fed comes in and says 25 bips, it would be a different story. I would ideally want Fed to kind of do 50 bips continually, or at least two consecutive meetings. That will keep the US 10-year propped up, and that would keep the recession, at least the technical recession, at bay. Many people say that the real recession is already here, and we have seen the GDP numbers and whatnot. But besides that, yeah, the 10-year yield is something which this is smart money basically. If you follow and if you can decipher 10-year, this is smart money. You will be playing alongside the smart money. So what the smart money is thinking right now, well, this had to come down. It came down, and on the credit side of things, you could play this, and the credit side of things go a little slower. And if this pace picks up pace either to the downside or to the upside, let's say if it breaks below and starts to come back crashing into 2.9 and push down into 2.8, this would mean a huge sell-off. It wouldn't matter, at this point if the 10-year starts to come back in. Uh,
Your house is on
so
fire.
if the 10-year starts to come back in, I believe that will signal that the economy, there's something seriously wrong with the economy, and Fed is trying to actively slow down the economy. That's what it would come into, right? So watch for this number. If maybe temporarily we might get a rally in tech because the 10-year is coming down, but in a long run this will drag down everything along with it. All right, and lastly, let's look at VIX. This guy, I don't know what to make of VIX right now, and people are buying into VIX in a very sketchy manner. They're not, nobody's kind of convinced that 35, it could go beyond that 42 number, that, or rather this number 38.94, which happened I think last month. I don't believe that people are pricing in anything beyond that. People want this to come back in. So I'm not a net buyer of VIX, but I would keep a very close eye on VIX. I don't do anything without watching VIX. So so in the short term, looks like a VIX wants to come in, and let's look for a push. Let's look for a push of 33.37 here, and if it comes down and 33.30, sorry, 33 number here, and I believe that it needs to bounce off of that number. If it comes back in here, there's a huge support, right? 50 and 20 and 5 and 8, everything is supporting it here. And 33 should be a huge bounce area. But if it breaks below that, then we're looking for a day lows of the day. About 32 and perhaps a push back into 31 and perhaps a push into 31.30. And this is the scenario where the rally will take place, right? So this is what right about here and bounce. Right now we are in the same situation. got down here and bounce. So not to say that this will come back in, just like this, just like here it came right back in. So if it starts to come back in, this is where I'm looking for that rally to happen based on this. So yeah, I will keep an eye on all of this data, and let's see how this proceeds. All right, let's stop it here. And if anybody has any comments, concerns, please do bring it up.